the word magic is not an ancient word, and that the word magic is a word which was recently added post religion to, in a sense, explain away the ignorance of our original religions encompassed us participating in behaviors that would be reminiscent of magic, that would be reminiscent of sorcery. Religion, in particular for the African American, disassociated us from that ability to coalesce our minds with the unfolding creative processes of the universe. So what we term magic are those, it has a negative connotation now, and it's associated with the term image because images are associated with magic because they were both maligned and we were instructed not to, and even persecuted and killed and executed if we were found doing anything reminiscent of any of our ancient spiritual practices. So we see all throughout the religious narratives, there's always this command that thou shalt not create graven images. And if you look at our culture, our ancient culture was all about making images. We have in our culture a utility of mind where we did not have this free for all thinking. We always had some place to put our thoughts. And we knew how to explain away ignorance and to embrace the reality of the infinite by placing very propitious parameters, associating them with terms and words that some were open for the layman or those, and if you're in a true civilization or a true culture, you know that you oftentimes get initiated into your culture because your culture has a reward system inclusive in it, and it's there to enable the participant on how to survive. And I'm very interested and intrigued at how many instances in modern religion the participant is told not to do everything that we used to do in Africa to establish what it is that we call our culture. So including, and this is another interesting thing, that not in the same breath that the religions tell us not to do it, they do the exact same thing in other versions or other modalities to tap into the unbroken story that you don't create nothing new if it ain't broken. So we have a very interesting motif that is full of sorcery and full of magic, and it's in the form of the crucifixion of a man named Jesus Christ. That is a symbolic reference to an act of sorcery whereby which one goes and makes a oratory request to deity, and upon the request, the participant goes and sacrifices a lamb or goat and cut into the side of the animal and go and examine the animal's liver and or intestines to find a truism or to confirm a yes or no answer from the deity of question. Okay? So through cultural morphology, that lamb became a man. So Mary had a little lamb. And then when we go look at what is this spear of destiny that they said that the Germans were looking for in World War II, they were looking for the instrument of sorcery. This is where the utility of things become the representation of deity. So now the spear of destiny, which was used to cut the side of the Christ figure, and to do what? In the advancement of examining his liver to see if it had propitious signs or light or dark mark. The light mark means yes, and the dark mark means no. Over time and through cultural morphology, our people got associated with the black mark in the liver of the examination. If anyone wants to explore this phenomena, it's called extispicy. You can spell it XTEXTI and then the word spicy. And they wouldn't want you to know that ancient religion is predicated on what we would term divinity. So an act of divinity is whereby which one wants to ask, is this a good day to do an interview or a bad day? And then we would do a divination reading. You see that with sometimes people will have a crystal and they'll do the pendulum, and it'll be over a glass of water, and they'll ask the water as though the water is a receptor. The water acts now as a spiritual device, right? And then so does the crystal. The crystal now is operating the edicts and the truth within the water. You see? So now over time, another key in the extispicy rites were and still are existing. The West Africans participated in it, Brazilians do it, Cubans do it, and there was a time where the Romans participated in doing so, and this is how it got to Christianity. Now, do you remember the film The Gladiator with Russell Crowe? In that film, there's something very indicative that the filmmakers trying to keep it as real as possible with the time period. They were capturing Carthaginian religion. If you go look at that film with The Gladiator with Russell Crowe, there's a part where he's praying and he has two effigies. One is male and one is female, right? And he places them in front of the altar and then prays to them. And those were the original effigies used by humans to exalt not only themselves in the field of time, meaning they would put the male and the female genders on the porch of time and act as though that they're pillars on the porch, and then walk through them into the realm of destiny. So you require for anything to occur magically, you need polar opposites. You need gender opposites. You need to find gender in anything that you want to do as well. You have to find it and you have to place them in their propitious areas and then allow the magnetism to bring you to the fulcrum or the focus.